having filled out this thing in advance, there was an extra line just for people who had done this, and there was literally nobody in the line. It is Sunday, August 3rd, 2025, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofa Time, we're talking about 2 easy programs you can use to get into the USA quicker.
Just like the wind, just let it pass through, just let it pass you.
I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. I've been making travel videos for over 15 years of popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there. My 2 books, Places Please and Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship, have been read by thousands of travel fans around the world. Getting Stitches is a collection of short stories of true, crazy, unusual things that have happened to me while traveling around the world, and Places Please is part travel guide and part biography, talking about how I found my passion for performing and all the places around the world it's taken me. If you like to read and want to give me a little extra help, check them out on Amazon now. Alright, while I'm recording this video right now, I'm in sort of a strange situation because all of what I'm going to talk about is not going to be happening to me until after I edit this video. Wait, that doesn't make sense. In 2 days, I'm flying to the United States. I'm going to be using the mobile passport control for the first time, and even though I'm starting this video now, I don't know how it's gonna end because I haven't done it yet.
What a cliffhanger!
So let's talk about mobile passport control and global entry, how they're different, who they're right for, and in the end of the video, I'm gonna tell you how it worked for me. Let me tell you a couple things about my situation. I am an American citizen. I have an American passport, but my residency is in Germany. I've lived here for more than half of my life, and I basically have what the equivalent of a German green card, but I still have my American passport. And if you've never flown internationally, then this might be a new situation for you in order to leave the country, be it the United States or Germany or wherever, and visit another country. You need to have a passport, and this passport will be checked every time you leave and when you come back. And this situation can, at times, be somewhat stressful and take a very, very long time. It depends on what time of the day you're arriving at the airport and how many other flights from out of the country are arriving at the same time. I have literally waited over an hour at passport check on some of my travels. And sometimes this immigration passport check part of your journey is not at the end. Sometimes it's in between. If you have a connecting flight and the time is short, that can be stressful. And global entry is something that I've known about for a while, but never really looked at closely. And mobile passport control is something that KLM recommended to me just a few days ago. And on the official website for this from the United States government, there is a comparison of what both of these programs are. Let's take a look at it together. Mobile passport control is free, whereas global entry is a program. It's like a membership that you have to sign up for. A 5-year membership is $120, which, you know, if you split that over 5 years, it's not that bad. For mobile passport control, there's no enrollment application. How you do it, we're gonna get to that in a second. And for global entry, there is an enrollment application required. Mobile passport control is with no background check, and global entry is with a background check. And some of the articles I've read have said that this is a very detailed background check, but I don't know what that means. Please, if you have global entry, can you write me in the comments what was this background check like? For the mobile passport control, you do not need to provide fingerprints, and for global entry, you will need to somehow provide your fingerprints. Like I said, if you've done this before, please let me know how that worked. For mobile passport control, you use the app, and for global entry, it says you can use the app, or there are, I think, terminals at the airport where you can put in your information, and that's how they pull up who you are. Here are 2 things that are a little bit different with mobile passport control. You still have to talk to an actual person. A lot of times with global entry, it's all done electronically, and then you just sashay through the turnstiles. No talking with an actual person. It also says here that mobile passport control is not a trusted traveler program. Global entry is a trusted traveler program. I'm not sure exactly what that means, and I'm not gonna look it up now. Here's something that's very important, and I think a mistake that some people might make. Both of these electronic options, mobile passport control and global entry, they are not a replacement for your passport. You still have to have your passport with you. For both of them, it says you need to have your passport available to present to an officer. And I mean, yeah, you have to have it with you anyways, right? For MPC, it says you must take a confirmation photo for final verification in addition to app self-photo. As mentioned, this is something I haven't done yet, but I'm going to be doing it in this video. For global entry, you are not required to take a confirmation photo. And this is also something that's interesting. Whether you are a citizen of the United States or someplace else, both of these programs are open to people from other countries too. So it says available to U.S. citizens, U.S. lawful permanent residents, Canadian B1, B2 citizen visitors, and returning visa waiver program travelers with an approved ESTA. And from a little bit of reading I did, I know that that includes people from Germany and many other EU countries. You can see here, this is a list of the countries that are also available to submit a membership request for global entry. If your country is on this list, then this is an option for you as well. Another important thing to know if you're interested in trying this out is not every US airport allows this system. So there's also a long list on the website of airports that do have mobile passport control. I'm flying into Minneapolis, so that's how I'm going to be able to try it out. All right, let me get my phone now and I'll show you what this app looks like, and I'll show you how far I can get today, which isn't going to be very far because you have to do it like on the day that you're traveling. Update, I am now in the USA, and the first thing I have to tell you guys, people, is that worked so smoothly. I can highly recommend it, and I'm so glad I did it. And as I was editing that previous part of the video together, I realized one of the most important things you need to understand is the MPC is free and global entry is something you have to pay for. And because MPC is free, I think if there are going to be lines to wait in at the airport, you'll probably end up waiting in a slightly longer line for MPC than you will for global entry. But that also depends on how many people are showing up that day that are signed up for either of these programs. Okay, so as mentioned, one of the big differences between MPC and global entry is with MPC, you have to do all this like shortly before you get to the passport control. So with this app, what you're basically doing is filling out the immigrations form. And if you've ever flown internationally, if you've ever flown into the United States or away and back to the United States, I'm sure you're familiar with this form. And in the app, it's just a really easy way to do it electronically when you arrive at your destination. Another thing you'll have to do is take a photo of yourself. This was also super easy and very self-explanatory. If you've ever used your telephone to check in for a cruise, then you know how this works. Seriously, once you have the app downloaded, it's really easy and self-explanatory. The only thing you have to remember is you can only do a certain amount of it before you get to your destination, and otherwise you do it when you get there, but it still goes really quickly. So when I walked around the corner into the area of the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport that usually is full of people, the lines weren't really that bad, but having filled out this thing in advance, there was an extra line just for people who had done this, and there was literally nobody in the line. I walked straight through all the switchbacks, went up to the counter, showed that I had done everything in the app in advance. The customs officer gave me one of those blue forms and had stamped it already, and I was done. Oh my gosh, people, that went so quick. You're not allowed to film in the passport check security area, but there was literally nobody in the line in front of me. I walked straight through, and everybody else on the flight had to wait. Highly recommended. In fact, I got there so quickly that only the very first of the bags had made it onto the belt. And usually when you have to go through this process, when you get to an airport, by the time you've waited in line, gotten up to the counter, answered all the questions, and got your picture taken, all the bags are already there. So it was quite different for me to be in the baggage claim area before even the bags were there. It's like, that never happens. Oh, and by the way, my suitcase stayed in Amsterdam. My bag did not show up, and it was kind of stressful because I only had 3 days at my mom's house in St. Paul before we left for the cabin, which is where we are now. And I thought, if the bag doesn't get here before we leave for the cabin, that's going to be complicated. But it did show up, and maybe sometime I should do a video talking about what you need to do when you're in this situation, and also what kind of compensation you are basically entitled to for each day that you're at your destination without your bag. Is that something you'd be interested in seeing? Let me know. So whether you choose mobile passport control or global entry, these are both, I think, really easy ways to streamline your travel process. And for somebody who travels as much as I do, I think that's a good idea. Try to find ways to streamline. Thanks for spending this part of your Sunday, or whatever day it is you choose to watch this, with me. I'm going to get back inside and enjoy some more time with my family, and I look forward to seeing you back here soon. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. Bye-bye.